Dear Melissa, I transitioned from an SVP of product role with strong growth to a CPO position at a PE owned company managing three B2B solutions, one growing learning business and two declining mature products suffering from years of underinvestment and poor product management. The company operates with an engineering led, sales driven culture where the CEO constantly shifts priorities and expects immediate growth, while the board focuses on EBITDA for a 3 to 4 year exit. Despite having no product operations discipline and dealing with constant firefighting from poor releases, I'm trying to implement rigorous product strategy processes, but leadership wants quick wins presented in just a few slides rather than data driven validation. How can I successfully transform this organization to become more product led, manage CEO and board expectations about the time and tough decisions required for the real change, and survive this challenging transition as other CPOs have done? Well, this certainly does not sound easy, but it does sound like a common problem. I think the issue is when you start to take over a company that is in a challenging spot, people want it to turn around very quickly. And your job here is to sift through the noise and try to set realistic expectations. But a big part of this as well is trying to find out what you can realistically do to help turn it around now, if you can, or versus later. So your job here is to sift through the two businesses, three business lines, it sounds, and try to figure out, are these actually growing or is there any growth potential in them? Are they declining because of things that we can fix? Or are they declining because markets have changed or people are moving on to different solutions or they're obsolete now? You want to really look into those different things and try to figure out if there are quick wins that you can do to turn these things around. And everybody's going to have opinions. So you want to step back from the noise and try to figure out, where do we place our bets? Now, when you're starting in one of these positions too, it's not bad to have quick wins. Sometimes we say, hey, let's really focus on this really long-term strategy. But if you're in a PE-backed company and they are trying to exit in a 3 to 4 year timeline, you do need to get some quick wins. We have to see if we can return it to growth or turn it around into a growth product in that timeline to get investor expectations up and to exit for what we want. So that's your mission. And as crazy as that sounds sometimes versus build a long-term holistic strategy for our product, we have to work within our bounds. So one of our constraints is that we are going to exit in 3 to 4 years with a certain multiple. How far are we away from that right now is what you should go and learn from your investors. Where are we right now? What do these businesses need to look like in order to get the return that they expect? From there, you're going to work backwards and you're going to try to figure out, what do we do now versus what do we do later? And how do we work our way up to that 3 to 4 year timeline? Then you're going to go revisit the product and start to look for the options to do that. And that might involve putting together this nice 3 to 4 year long timeline of product strategy and your vision and what you want to do and work backwards from it. That's what you should be doing. But you also have to be realistic and you have to earn trust. When you're a new CPO, it's really important that you earn trust from your board and from your CEO. So you do want to demonstrate some quick wins. You want to get some people onto your side. So I wouldn't dismiss that. What can you do that could show some momentum, some quick wins? It also sounds like the team has had a lot of poor releases. You need to turn that around. You have to reset expectations that they can ship. So can you carve something out that might be meaningful? Maybe it's not the most meaningful thing you've ever done, but a little bit meaningful to gain that trust, to show some momentum, to get the team a win so that people can back off and then see your strategy and your plan. That's a big part of this. Everybody's going to want you to go faster, especially in the age of AI. Everybody wants to go super, super fast, right? You have to come back with realistic expectations, but you do have to keep in mind that you have to earn trust. So what can you do to earn that trust so that you earn the right to set those realistic expectations, to set that great product strategy, and to be able to move the company more towards a product-led direction? That's really what's going to be there. So one of CPOs that I really admire, he told me about a story where he went to the sales team. It was a very sales-led company. And he asked at the beginning, hey, what's one thing that you've been asking for forever that you think is going to make a difference in sales that will help you close sales? Show me the data that we could do. And when they told him, they said, oh, we've been like looking for this thing for the last 5 years. We keep asking for it. But the old CPO was going, oh, no, we can't do that. Like, we have to follow my process. You're not allowed to just throw things over here. We have to follow this process. We have to look at the long-term vision. And what he did is he looked at it and he said, you know what? That makes total sense. Is it the most important thing we could be building? No, but it's pretty quick. It's pretty easy. It'll take a team. Let me just do this to garner goodwill. And he shipped it. It helped people close sales. And the sales team loved him. And the head of sales became his best friend. And then they worked really well together to put together the rest of the strategy that eventually allowed them to exit the business for what they wanted. So that's what you have to look at. Like, sometimes we make concessions over what's perfect to garner support and to help deliver wins and to get that trust. And that's the most important part about being an executive, building that trust, making sure that you work well with others there. So that's really what I would look at. Maybe there is something here on the quick wins. Can I evaluate them and just get that next step to say, hey, we got a win here. We made some money. We did something good for our customers and it helped the team ship and it made people happy. What's that? Can you do that while you're looking at the long term? That's what I would really focus on. So I hope that helps and good luck in your mission.